Breaking news, guys. So something very new is just unfolding, and this is a new controversy. It is unfolding in the occupied Palestine territory. Israel, authorities has ordered the expulsion of prominent Catholic priests known, for outspoken support for the Palestinians and the rights of the youth and the members of the, at least the communities of the Palestinians, the young ones, the youth activism. So if you haven't seen me before, I am Gladys and I post latest news on this channel. So according to church sources, guys, Father Louis Salman, who is a priest in a Catholic church in Syria, a parish priest serving in Beit Shahor. Guys, this is not just a priest. This is a priest that speaks at least for the people of Syria. This Shahor is near Bethlehem. It has been instructed to leave the occupied territories of the Syria after the Israeli refused to renew his residence permit. Guys, this is serious. The order reportedly came after what sources described as a lengthy security interrogation. The news has it that Father Louis was allegedly told to depart the church and that area by May 11th, being inside May 2026, with officials linking the decision to concerns over his political views and political criticisms of Israeli politics and Israel policies as well. So this case is already drawing people's attentions. It's drawing strong reaction. It's currently drawing reactions both from the Palestine Christian communities and church leaders. It's drawing attention even the human rights advocate who also sees the move as part of growing pressure on religion, at least even a religious figure as well, speaking out about conditions in the occupied territory. Father Louis Salman is not just a priest. He's not just a local priest. Over the recent years, he has become one of the priests and most recognizable voices who talks about the Palestinians. He has become one of the voice that talks about the Palestine Christian youth, especially in Bethlehem area, the communities where Christians represent in shrinking minority, in a very shrinking minority, amid political instability in these areas, amid the economic hardship in this area, amid the migration pressure that is in this area. Many younger Palestinians viewed him as both a spiritual leader and a social advocate. Someone willing to openly talk about the occupation, the inequality, the struggle that the people of the Palestinians are facing, the Christians living under Israeli control. He comes out publicly to advocate for these people. He gained international attention in 2022, after organizing prayer in the territory, that's in memory of Shirin, Abu Akleh, the Palestinian American journalist whose buying and unaliving during an Israeli military raid sparked so many reactions worldwide. The outrage and renewed scrutiny of the the outrage and renewed scrutiny of Israeli-Palestinian conflict. At this time, Abu Akleh's death became one of the most emotional things that changed the moment in the recent Middle East history. For many Palestinians, she represented a trusted voice, documenting life under occupation. She documented things as journalist. She documented things that happened around her as somebody who was doing it as a work as well. So her funeral itself later became another source of international controversy after involving an Israel police and mourners in Jerusalem. So now, Father Louis' association with public memories of Abu Akleh and his, broader criticism of Israel policies appears to have placed him under a serious increased scrutiny. Guys, talking about this, Israel authorities have not publicly released details concerning this issue. They have not even come out to talk about it. They have not publicly released any issues about these accusations against him. However, Israel has increasingly tightened residency and movement controls in occupied territories. Looking at this, often arguing that the security concern requires close monitoring of political activism and foreign-linked organizations. So critics, however, say that the refusal to renew Father Louis' residency permit reflects to a wider pattern of pressure. Pressure against the Palestinians, against the communities, activists, journalists, and even religious leaders in Palestine who openly challenge Israeli policies. This issue is currently where the situation becomes especially very sensitive. The Holy Land holds profound religious significance for Israel, for Christians, around the world, and also the Christian population in Palestine territory has steadily declined over the past decades due to conflict, due to issues, due to instability, due to immigration. Church and even the church leaders have repeatedly warned that the Palestine Christians feel increasingly, marginalized and trapped between political conflict, the military occupation, and uncertain future surrounding the issues for many Palestinian Christians. Some of them are even getting very scared for attending church activities, programs, and many other things. Father Louis represented something very rare, a younger religious leader deeply connected to a local community rather than distant church politics. On this matter, his possible expulsion is therefore being viewed not only as an administrative or legal issue, but also a symbolic message about the limits of political expression under occupation. At this same time, a large people argue that the residence permit, which is the residency permit of these, priests, are subject to national security reviews and that criticisms of government policies does not automatically exempt individuals from immigration or security procedures. But still on that, right groups, that's humanitarian right groups, warns that when residence laws are used against outspoken religious figures, it risks creating the perception that dissent itself is being, criminalized. That means the priest is not actually meant to be shut down or shut off by the Israeli, policies and their activities. The controversy also highlights the increasing difficult position of the religious institutions, in conflict zones and issues. Church in Holy Land have traditionally tied balancing spiritual leadership with humanitarian advocacy, but as tensions deepen, remaining neutral becomes more complicated. Remaining just a priest might become complicated. For Father Louis supporters, the issue is not only about the priest, but there are fear it reflects. Get it reflects a broader shrinking peace space for the Palestinian civic and religious voices. So for more information, I'm going to keep you updated based on what is happening around the world. Just stay tuned.